trust the science. Boy, I don't trust them people far as I can throw they butt. I'ma tell you about your little spit DNA test that is for entertainment purposes only. Now, what we want to see, I'm gonna tell the Native Americans, I'm gonna tell the indigenous so-called Mexicans. You can't be indigenous and Mexicans. Mexicans is a made-up term. It's a misnomer. We gonna keep telling y'all the same thing. Pull out them records, buddy. Show us. I want to see what they came up with your spit. Pull out some paperwork. Show us what you talking about. And since you want to trust your enemy so bad, show me one of your African cousins on their Port City. Oh, and for the Mexicans and the Native Americans, show me when they dug up a mummy and they tested it and it said they got sickle cell. Show us that y'all got the sickle cell trait, because those are the Maya. We know we got the sickle cell trait, so somebody needs to stop lying over here, okay, buddy? Prove to us you're not off an orphan train, and prove to us that you come from Africa.
Is they're taking a swab? They don't do that. You have to spit in a tube and put that. Listen to me.
Hold on, let me say something real quick. I'm gonna let you go. For the people in the chat, when he said that they do a spit test, you gotta spit in the tube. He swabbed the lizard's mouth and put the saliva from the lizard inside of the tube. That's how they get it from the lizard. Lizards can't spit, so therefore he took the saliva from the mouth and stuck it in the tube. He surely did. I saw the video.
Let me tell you something, Port City.
Put it in there.
Oh my God! I wish I could just talk.
Yeah,
let me just talk this out. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Port City. Anytime when a man is on the currency or a female is on the currency, they are considered royalty. All right? Is that understood? Now, when you see a king on a dollar bill or currency, that is because that is theirs. Anytime when you see sharecroppers on the currency, that is because the land that they are cropping on is theirs. That is not a slavery thing. Nobody is going to take a bum off the street and say, put them on the currency. Yeah, that's it. Are you an idiot? What the fuck?
He was talking. You could hear the fear in his voice of the sellout. Like while he was,
this dude ran as soon as I popped up.
All I could hear in sense was just like,
Is they're taking a swab? They don't do that. You have to spit in a tube and put that in a tube and submit that.
So don't you think he probably swabbed the mouth and took the saliva from the lizard and put it in the tube?
Hey, but look, y'all don't gotta believe me. It's okay. My second thing, real quick. I won't be on here long. Real quick. I want to show you guys, because David ain't here, right? David popped off real quick. David showed you guys currency, right? With y'all on it, right? I want y'all to know that this is slaves being depicted on. Yes, it is. These are slaves being depicted on Confederacy currency.
Why would you put slaves
So this
on
is
currency? Slaves on currency.
Hey, David, when you go, David, I drop down for you to come back up.
Where David at?
Where's David? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got a question for Port City. I got a question for Port City since he got when was that article written? Port City.
There's David right
This wasn't an
there.
article.
As soon as y'all said
This was during the time.
Even Guiley's laughing at you.
I'm asking, when was that written?
I just want.
That's a good article, Port City. That's a good article. Yes,
CZ,
that's a good article, Port City. You got the best receipts on this platform.
CZ, can you stop yelling?
I'm out.
I
I know I
Port City.
Port City got the best receipts.
CZ, can you stop yelling? I'm trying to have a conversation. Look, now he dropped. I didn't even get a chance to ask him.
Type in Port City Vibe.
that was too easy. If it was that easy.
Type in Google PortCityVibes.com and see it pop up.
Peace, family. Poor City coming right back at you guys. Family, I appreciate you guys coming to the debate tonight. We got a good one for you guys tonight, right now. We got a debate titled whether or not the Moors were all black. Family, were the Moors all black? We got brother SUTEKH in the back, and we got brother Hotep in the back. These two brothers decided to clash it out tonight on YouTube, family. And we're going to give them an opportunity to make their points and stuff. Real quick, I'm gonna go over this real quick. They're gonna be 3 rounds at 10 minutes a piece. I'm gonna give these brothers a good opportunity to come on in here and introduce themselves. And then after that, like I said, we'll start the clock. SUTEKH has decided we're gonna make him go first. And we're gonna do his round first. And then brother Hotep will come in behind them. And then we'll probably do a debate after that. That'll be the first round. Like I said, after the 10 minutes, you'll hit a bell. That means your time is up. And I'll go over that with the family. Yeah, I got a bell, y'all. I'm excited. Y'all been hearing this bell all week on TikTok. But no, thank you guys in the chat. Make sure you get the likes up and stuff. That helps the algorithm go around. Make sure if you have not followed Poor City African Centered Consciousness, if you're in the building for the first time, we welcome you over here. This is the home of the Adjustment Syndicate, and we appreciate you guys for coming over here. All right. So I'm going to bring the gentleman up to the panel, and we're going to have both of the guys up here. Come on up here and introduce yourselves if you don't mind. It don't matter who go first.
All right, I'll go. Excuse me, I'll go first. Sadly, people, SUTEKH couldn't be here today. I am Morris Luther King Jr. I will be standing in his place, straight out of the projects of the Yucatan. You know, us niggas always been here. You know what I mean? We grew up out of the ground, straight from the soil. You know what I mean? Of Turtle Island. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? So I'm going to take over for my brother. I mean, I know a lot of y'all probably aren't familiar with me, but y'all will get familiar with me. So strap your do-rags up tight, get your popcorn, roll your bleezies, get your Henny, take that fucking Crown Royal out of the bag, crack that bitch open. You know how niggas do. We in this bitch.
What's up, y'all? It's Hotep Villain, the super villain. And, I just want to know everybody's nationality before we get this debate going. Nationality is important. That's what Martin Luther King said. That's what Malcolm X said. Nationality is important. So, now I'm just playing with y'all. But my goal here is, I'm definitely trying to learn some stuff. If SUTEKH has the information, I'm willing to learn. Then after this, I'm gonna go into retirement probably after I finish up making my history videos, and then work on some fantasy stuff, world building, Lord of the Rings type of stuff, Game of Thrones, but more African centered, and because there's not a lot of content out there, and then you got people making up fake history instead of just creating their own fictional works and books and novels and graphic novels and games or whatever. You got a lot of this foolishness that's going around on the internet. A lot of these people are creative, though. I'll give them that. They got some creative minds. They just misusing it. I think that's it.
That's the bell sound that you guys will hear. Shout out to the bell icon. So yeah, I appreciate you brothers coming on up. I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta get my timer up. Give me a minute, family. I should have been having my timer up. I'm gonna get my timer up and I'm gonna chill. Normally y'all see me up here pushing, but I get a chance to sit back and watch my fellow brothers push, man, and push we trust. So give me 1 second, y'all, to get this damn timer. All right. So, brother Hotep, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. I'm gonna let brother SUTEKH get ready to roll. Just stand down there and I'll get you back up. All right. All right. So let me know when you're ready, man, and I'll share your screen and I got you timed up.
All right, we good to go.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Your time starts now.
Right on time. Just finished the Newport. No, just playing. Hey, the title of these slides are "Is They Is or Is They Ain't All Niggas, All Moors Black." All right, so let's hop right into it. So let us begin by considering the word Moor, a shift. And before I start, all my sources, all my excerpts, the sources will be on the bottom of the slide, right? So let us begin by considering the word Moor, a shifting and slippery label in medieval Iberia. Prior to the campaign of the maritime expansion initiated by the Portuguese travelers in the 15th century, the Moor was the emblematic African in the Iberian literary and historical imagination. Moor is alternatively denotative and connotative, precise and imprecise, historically accurate and imaginatively construed, right? Etymologically, geographic writings gave birth to Moro as the generic label. The word derives from the Latin Moris, an adjective meaning Moorish, or of the Moors, that refer to the inhabitants of Mauritania, a region of North Africa comprised of two provinces, frequently described by classical geographers. Excuse me. So I'm pounding into y'all head, no diddy, that Moor is a term originally applied to the North Africans, right, by outsiders. It's an exonym. In geography, or in his geography, for example, Strabo, and speaking of Libya, mentioned the Moors or the Mauritians as a Libyan tribe. Libya, we know, of course, is in North Africa, living on the side of the straight opposite Iberia. Pliny the Elder includes Tangier in his Historia Naturalis, or Natural History. That's the name of the book, as part of Mauritania, and in it lived the Moors, from whom they take the name of Mauritania, by many writers called the Marusi. Pomponius Mela, like Strabo, juxtaposes Mauritania and Spain as facing one another across the sea, and identifies the mountain Jabal Musa and Gibraltar as the pillars of Hercules. Moris was one of many terms used to describe the peoples of Africa in classical texts, and often coincided with the Greek and Latin terms for Ethiopians, which were, as Frank M. Snowden Jr. observed, words synonymous with blackness of skin. Now, keep in mind that this is a relative term, right? So we'll get into that later. So this is a depiction of Moors, a contemporary depiction of Moors. When I mean contemporary, I mean this was an image created during the time when the Moors were in Spain, right? The only existing contemporary image of James I the Conqueror. The Moors request permission from James I, and this is from the Cantigas de Santa Maria. He's going to have an issue with this source, but he'll be able to tell you that and explain why this depiction is inaccurate. The term Moor has a long and contested history, both as a historical figure and as an image representing various ideas. While it generally has been used to refer to various populations of people who have historically inhabited North Africa, its significance has changed over time. In his article, The Moors by Ross Brand. He considers the meaning and the significance of Moors identity in literary works, film, and scholarship. Brand notes that even today, the figure is employed regularly in academic circles and in popular culture without much question or reflection, and without clarification of who precisely the Moors are. Recounting a history of the use of the term Moor, he explains that Andalusi Arabic sources, as opposed to later Mudehar and Morisco sources in Al-Jimado, neither refer to individuals as Moors nor recognize any such group, community, or culture. Right? So these contemporary Arabic sources do not refer to these people as Moors because they don't refer to themselves in that way. The term
you got 5 minutes. I just want to let you know. Keep going. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Appreciate it. Moor is a term applied from the outside by Europeans. That's what I just said. Yet, unlike relatively stable terms of Roman provenance inherited by Christians such as Arab, Ishmaelite, and Saracen, the significance of the term varies in particular historical moments and shifts over time. Right, and this is from the literary cartographies of Spain, the mapping identity of African American travel. Right, same source. Early in the history of Al-Andalus, Moor signified Berber. Keep that in mind. Early in the history of Al-Andalus, Moor signified Berber as a geographic and ethnic identity. Later writings, however, from the 12th to 13th century Christian kingdoms demonstrate the transformation of Moor from a term signifying Berber into a general term referring primarily to Muslims, regardless of ethnicity. Right, so later it became a term to refer to Muslims. It don't matter who you are, where you from, what race, what ethnic group. You were a Muslim, you're a Moor, right? Living in recently conquered Christian lands, and secondarily, to those residing in what was still left of Al-Andalus. In addition to the shifting significance of the term from one geographically based ethnic group to a broad religious group, this use of the term flattens out the difference between the various ethnic Muslim communities within Islamic kingdoms throughout the 8th to 12th centuries. The significant conflict between which contributed The significant conflict between which contributed to the political upheavals in the Islamic world during that time.
3 minutes, brother. 3 minutes. Keep smoking.
Bet. So we have another contemporary depiction from the Cantigas de Santa Maria, right? The Castilian ambassadors. These are the Castilian ambassadors attempting to convince the Almohad ruler Abu Hafs Umar al-Mu'tada to join their alliance. Right? Contemporary depiction from the Cantigas de Santa Maria. So this is the Almohad leader. These are the Castilian ambassadors. Right, so I want to make this clear. We are showing here today that not all Moors were black. Right, and what better way to show it than showing images of Moors depicted from the time period by people who lived in the area. Right, that's called a primary source. Blackness functioned as a spiritual metaphor expressing religious prejudice, but as contact with sub-Saharan Africans increased with the slave trade, it increasingly referred to physical blackness as a marker of an inner difference. During the Renaissance, Moorishness, originally designated Muslim identity, became associated with physical blackness, despite the fact that North African Arab Berbers were not necessarily dark skinned. The essence of the Moorish difference is remarkably unstable. This figure can be a Muslim, Arab, or a black African, resulting in a multi-valiant concept of the Moor. So just because they call these people dark or black doesn't necessarily speak to the actual color of their skin all the time, right? I don't know how much time I got left now.
You got about a minute. You got about a minute.
Okay, I'm gonna see how much I can get through with this. Scholars have also noted other variances in images elicited by the term Moor that stem from combinations of the above meanings within 13th century texts. For example, various semantic transformations of the Moor provided occasions in which the racial dehumanization and religious demonization of Moors by Europeans very nearly converge. Brand and well, I'll just stop right there. I'll continue this slide on my next joint.
You got 10 seconds, but you wanna end your time. That was about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we right at 10. Just to let y'all know, 10 minutes. That's what's up. Everybody hit that like. Everybody hit that like. Thank you guys for showing up. So I'm gonna take my brother down, and we're gonna bring up Mr. Hotep. All right, let me stop showing my shit. What's up, Mr. Brother Hotep? How you doing, brother?
What's up? Good.
Good. You good? Are you ready, man? You ready, man? This was a hell of a first round, man. I don't know, dog. Damn, are you prepared, brother?
Yeah.
All right, that's right. Hey, I'm gonna give you the same courtesy that I gave brother SUTEKH. All right, I'm gonna give you the same courtesy. Let me turn my camera on real quick. I got my clock timer. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. Let me reset it.
You see, I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah. Make sure you put what you want on there. And family, if y'all can't see what he's showing, let us know in the comment section so you guys can see everything this brother's showing. I'm going to start the clock. I'm resetting it just to let everybody know I'm not cheating this brother out of his time or nothing like that, okay? Turn my camera off. But let me know when you're ready to go, and we'll start this clock and get you going, all right?
I'm ready.
All right. Your time starts now.
All right, can they see my screen?
Can everybody see the brother's screen? Can everybody see this brother's screen? Put a 1 in the chat real quick. Yes, go for it.
All right, so he showed the Contiguous de Santa Maria, which is it's a book of poems. It's not really about the Moors. The context, the subject is the Virgin Mary. That's why it's called the Contiguous de Santa Maria. So these are a collection of poems. They say it's about the Contiguous consists of more than 400 poems. And in these poems, majority of them is about, no, all of them is about the Virgin Mary. And only few of them mention anything about Moors or Moros. Now, majority of the songs are about miracles that the Virgin Mary has done. It's not a legitimate source, factual. It's not a factual account of history, chronicle of history of what happened during the battles. None of that. And in many cases, they don't even mention the name of certain kings. So now what people do is they say who lived during that time, and they're like they identify.
Hey, brother, hey, I'm gonna stop your time real quick. Can you show that a little bit bigger so everybody else can see it? I think the family is having a hard time seeing your information. I stopped your time right here, man, and I'll start it again. And all right.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I got you. This is what we do over here. I'm gonna reset the clock because you only went in there for about a minute. Didn't nobody see what you was showing? So I got you with the restart. All right. Let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna start. You good?
Yeah.
Everybody like that screen because that's what we do over here. Everybody's scared of these debates. You ready? Here we go. Go.
So in most of these, the Contiguous de Santa Maria, let me go back, is a collection of poems, about 400 of them, and they're about the Virgin Mary and her miracles. It's not about factual history and what happened in history. It's about her miracles and the magical things that she had done. So this is really a fictional source. It's not really based in history at all. And then we can go to every single one of these songs and see that it's in the Oxford Continuous de Santa Maria database, and you will see that in these sources, the blind girl whose sight was restored, the stonemason who survived the Great Fall, and every story is going to be about a miracle that she had done. And then they even have statues, the Virgin Mary statue doing miracles, catching arrows. This is a really good source for people who are interested in knowing what the Cantigas de Santa Maria, the context and the subject matter of that. Okay, it is not a factual source. And it's from the Galician and Portuguese language. And I find it interesting that they use the word moros, right? And this is a word that they use in their folklore. So we're dealing with mythology, magic. Now, this is a very, like I said, fictional, supernatural source that he's using. This is that folklore. It doesn't matter if it's contemporary or not. The woman who coughed up a snake. Every song in here is something magical is happening in every event. Now, if we go over to, more literal sources about history, geography, and phenotype and descriptions of people, accounts of wars, we have from the 1st century, we have several Roman authors. First, there is Marcus Manilius and his Astronomica, Book 4. The Moors derive their name from their faces, and their identity is proclaimed by the color of their skins. And then from Silius Italicus in his Latin poem called the Punica, he says, "Am I to do nothing or to move from height to height, while Garamantians and burnt-skinned Moors share Italy with me?" So they're making physical observations about these people and what they look like, burnt skin. You got Marcus Valerian Martial, one of the earliest Europeans to use the phrase "woolly hair like a Moor," also translated "a Moor with his crisp hair." We also have Claudian from the 4th century. This is all before, the Islamic expansion. It says, "When tired of each noblest matron, Gildo hands her over to the Moors. Married in Carthage city, these Sidonian mothers must mate with barbarians. He thrusts upon me an Ethiopian as a son-in-law, a Nasamonian as a husband. The hideous half-breed child affrights his cradle. Thanks to those base allies, his state is more regal than that of the emperor himself. Before him goes a body of foot soldiers, squadrons of cavalry surround him, and client kings, whom he enriches with our spoils." So who are these client kings? Who are these people that Gildo has around him? These Ethiopians, the Nasamonians. All these people are in the eastern part of Africa. So people ignore these sources where they're speaking of Moors in modern day Libya, near Nubia, and other places. So let's read. "After the conquest of the north arose a fresh storm in another quarter. Trumpets of war rang out in the south, that there might be no part of the world untouched by thy victories. Gildo stirred up all the Moorish tribes living beneath Mount Atlas, and those whom the excessive heat of the sun cut off from us in the interior of Africa. Those whom watering streams water, and tried everywhere the garden of Hesperides. Those who dwell besides the water, most famous rivers of Ethiopia, overflows its bank as it had been another Nile. There came at his summons the Nubian with his headdress of short arrows, the fleet Garamantian, the Nasamonian, whose impetuous ardor not even the sinister predictions of Ammon could restrain. The plain of Numidia was overrun with their dust covered the Catilian Syrtes. The sky of Carthage was darkened with their arrows." So this is an account of the Gildonic War that happened in North Africa, and we can see that the Moorish tribes are the Nasamonians, Garamantians, and the Nubians. And let me go to a couple more sources. You got the 4th century by Ammianus Marcellinus, the Astoriani. This is another tribe that's in the eastern part of Africa.
5 minutes, brother. 5 minutes. I just want to let you know you got 5 minutes on the clock.
All right.
Keep smoking. You good.
The Astoriani and other Moorish tribes raided Africa more fiercely than ever. So the Astoriani were people who were in between Tunisia and Egypt, somewhere in the Libyan deserts. And then we have Procopius. He tells us, you know, about how a Moor had told him that there were some white people in Africa that were not, and he said this, that beyond that there are men not black skinned like the Moors, but very white in body and fair haired. So this is around the time of the Vandals, when, you know, Germanic tribes had invaded North Africa. We also have Isidore of Seville. He says the Moors have bodies black as night, while the skin of the Gauls is white. And then we have John of Nikiu. So this was a bishop in Egypt. So he's on the continent, and he's speaking about the people called Mauritanians. So he talks about this Byzantine general, Esteramachos, defeats the Maricos. Shortly afterwards, as no charge was proved against him, Esteramachos' Emperor Tiberius restored him to office and sent him to Alexandria, where he was beloved by all. He defeated the barbarians, and you know, they usually try to translate barbarians to Berber, and that's what SUTEKH was getting at. Barbarians is not a racial thing. Barbarians of the province of Nubia in Africa, who are called Mauritanians. He defeated the barbarians of the province of Nubia in Africa, who are called Mauritanians, and other barbarians called Maricos. He cut them to pieces, plundered, pillaged their country, carried off their property, and took them prisoner in chains to Egypt by way of the Nile. As the encounter had taken place on this river, and chroniclers have recorded this victory. He also, this same author also talks about an Egyptian king, and he says at the very bottom how this Egyptian king was continually at war with the barbarians, who are named Mauritanians, who came from the 5 countries. So we don't know what 5 countries he's talking about, but it's somewhere in East Africa or somewhere south of Egypt.
About 3 minutes, brother. 3 minutes.
And then we get, all right, thank you. And then we get to, can y'all see that? We get to the Moorish invasion of Spain. So I'm using cross-cultural sources, you know, from different people. The Romans, a bishop of Egypt, and I'm going to be pulling from more and more sources, not just Spain, because the Moors did not exist in a bubble. They were not isolated. You know, the Spanish people were not the only people who saw these people, who knew of these people. So let me read this source. This is the Arabic side of it, and this is how they tell the story. So this Syrian, or whoever he is, he says, when Tariq crossed the sea, he came out at the mountain named after him, Jabal Tariq, Gibraltar, and sent forward the Sudan to make war. When the Goths saw these frightful forms, they were terrified. The Sudan used to take Gothic and Christian prisoners and slaughter them and show that they were going to eat them. This increased their fear and terror. So here he uses the word Sudan, not Berber. So when, you know, people say it was the Berbers that or barbarians that went in, he was more specific and said Sudan, that Tariq crossed the sea with people called Sudan. And then I can show images of what the Spanish sources, how they depict these people. This is from medieval Spain. This is Gothic art. This is from Germany. This is from Spain right here, Valencia. This is from the 15th century. And we see the Moorish king. He's black. Everybody in this image is black except for the Christians who are attacking them. These are the Moors. This is also Moors right here. By the color of their skins, these are black men. These are the Moors. The Battle of Tiba, we see some Moors here, and then we see some other guys that they're allied with. And we can get into that history as well. You know, they always relied on North Africans and West Africans and just East Africans, people from all over the continent who were Muslim, who answered the call for the Crusades. I think, how much time I got?
You got about 10 seconds, bro.
And this is another medieval depiction of the Moors from Spain.
And that is the end of the first round. Unshare your screen, brother. And that is the end of the first round. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I got a bell, y'all. I really like this bell. I hope you guys like the bell too. So I think we talked about rebuttaling, or if y'all want to move into the second round, that's all good with them. Damn, my bad. If y'all want to move into that second round, it's up to you guys. So this is up to you if you wanted to rebuttal this. I'll give you an opportunity to.
Nah, I just save it. I just save it for the end. I don't I seen a couple of things, but it's nothing that like immediate or an emergency. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and go into my next round.
All right, we're gonna go right into the next round. I'm gonna drop you, brother Hotep. We got second round going on. Just like I'm gonna start this timer, give you 10 minutes, brother. And at the 5-minute marker, I'll remind you just to let you know. And then right around 3 minutes, I'll let you know. And then y'all hear the bell again. All right. Are you ready, brother? Let me know when you're ready to share your screen.
I'm ready.
All right, everybody get those likes up, y'all. It's motherfucking 12 o'clock at night, yo. And these brothers are working hard out here trying to get this information to you. Here we go. I'm about to start the timer. Give me a minute so I can start this right. Make sure I get my timer up right. Okay, the clock is starting now. Go for it, brother. I'm out.
All right. So yeah, he didn't properly source these images. We agreed to a debate between 711 to the time period of 711 to 14 AD. So all the 4th century stuff. I'm kind of confused, but yeah, as I'm showing you contemporary depictions. It doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter that this book is a book of poems. This book is showing depictions of these people and what they look like, right? So we'll keep going. Brand and Lumba point to examples of the text in which Moorishness becomes increasingly associated with forms of blackness. The Moor is associated in some cases with the metaphorical blackness of the soul as an expression of religious prejudice, and in other cases with the physical blackness associated with the images of Africa, despite the fact that North African, Arab, and Berber populations were not necessarily dark-skinned. So all these dark and black references that he keep quoting, keep that in mind. And I'm showing where each and every last depiction comes from, right? This painting comes from physicians, or it comes from the imperial surgery from 1465. These are physicians employing a surgical method, right? So we keep going. This is Spain, Muslim invasion, fighting between Christians and Muslims in Spain, illumination from the Cantigas de Santa Maria, Alfonso the 10th and the 13th century. You see a black guy right there. You see some niggas sprinkled and peppered in there, but you also see these white Moors as well. You see these what they call quote unquote white Moors. We know they weren't white, but as you know, in a European sense. Let's keep going. Berbers are an ethnic group indigenous to North Africa, west of the Nile River, who also speak related languages. The word Berber probably did not originate among themselves, which this is irrelevant. Y'all can read that on your own time. Berbers come from North Africa. That's the point. The Sudani is the geographical region, or the Sudan is a geographical region to the south of Sahara, stretching from Western Africa to Central and Eastern Africa. The name derives from the Arabic Balad al-Sudan. I know if y'all familiar with Africa, and you know about the Balad al-Sudan or the Ard al-Sudan, which means the land of the blacks, the land of the blacks. South of the Sahara. This is where the blacks are indigenous to, not North Africa. Right? And these are Muslim horsemen and their black slave warriors herding Christian prisoners and their cattle. Another one from the Cantigas. Yes, I do have other depictions that are not from the Cantigas. Oh, your horses. Right? You see the Berber Arab niggas that don't fuck with us, and you see these niggas on the ground strolling on their feet, right? Let's get to the genetics. On the 13th of January 2012, an exhaustive genetic study of North Africa's human populations was published in the Public Library of Science, Genetics, and was taken undertaken jointly by researchers in the Evolutionary Biology Institute and Stanford University, among other institutions. The study highlights the complex genetic makeup of North Africa. This genetic composition shows a significant local component that became more distinct around 12,000 years ago, possibly influenced by migrations, populations expansions, or other demographic events. According to David Commas, coordinator of the study and researcher of the Institute for Evolutionary Biology, some of the questions we wanted to answer were whether today's inhabitants are direct descendants of the population of the oldest archaeological remains in the region, dating back 50,000 years ago, or whether they are descendants of the Neolithic population in the Middle East, which introduced agriculture to the region around 9,000 years ago. We also wonder if there had been any genetic exchange between North African populations and the neighboring regions, and if so, when these took place. Stay with me. This is going to all make sense. To explore these questions, the research team analyzed 800,000 genetic markers across the entire genome of 125 North African individuals from 7 representative populations. This data was juxtaposed by or with information from the neighboring populations. Right. The findings reveal a distinct native genetic component in North Africans, meaning they are indigenous to North Africa, right? Setting them apart from sub-Saharan Africans and aligning them more closely to West Eurasians, primarily Middle Easterners and Europeans. So they more closely appreciate it. So they more closely related to Middle Easterners and Europeans. Throughout the study, though the study emphasizes a dominant genetic lineage in contemporary North Africans tracing back 12,000 years ago, it does not dismiss the likelihood of genetic continuity between or from ancient human groups present in North Africa over 60,000 years ago. The data suggests while ancient human groups indeed inhabited the region, the majority of the modern identifiable genetic makeup stems from more recent populations. The unique North African Maghrebi genetic signature is distinct from ancestries found in populations of sub-Saharan Africa. Let me go back. In case y'all missed that. The unique North African genetic signature is distinct from ancestries found in populations from sub-Saharan Africa. They are genetically different, more closely related to Middle Easterners and Europeans. All right. So modern North African populations were observed to share genetic markers in varying degrees with all neighboring regions, probably as a result from more recent migrations. And these are Andalusi Muslims playing chess as depicted in the Book of Games. I told you all of these depictions ain't coming from the Cantigas, but the Cantigas is one of the main sources that people use for these depictions, right? But we also have the Book of Games. This is the late 12th century. The game that became modern chess was introduced in Iberia and Sicily under Muslim rule. You see the Muslims.
3 minutes.
Bet. They aren't black. Are these niggas black? Are these niggas? A recent genetic study published in the European Journal of Human Genetics in Nature 2019 showed that North Africans are closely related to West Asians as well as Europeans. North Africans can be distinguished from doing too much. North Africans can be distinguished from West Africans and other African populations dwelling south of the Sahara. They are genetically different from black people, right? The white Moors versus the black Moors. The Bidanis or the white Moors are one of two of the main subgroups of Moors from Mauritania. White Moors have been accused of continuing the ancient practice of keeping slaves in present-day Mauritania. They are descendants of Berbers and Arabs. There are 2 main groups of Moors: the Bidanis or the white Moors, who are Berber and Arab origin, and the Sudani, which I just showed y'all. The Sudani are the black Moors, who are largely of black African origin, or related to the Fulani, the Soninke, the Tukulor, the Wolof, and other peoples, right? Christian and Moore. This is a Christian and a Moore playing chess, right? Also from the Book of Games, 1285. You see the Christian over here to the left. You see the Muslim over there to the right. Is this a nigga? Is this a Negro? Is he black? Is he Sudani? Nah. Now, I don't even, y'all can stop this, pause it, screenshot it on the replay. I'll come back if I have time. This is a Moorish army to the right. You see the Moors over here. Like I said, you see a few Negroes peppered in. I think I might have already shown that, but that's from the Cantigas as well, right? Y'all can come back. I'll come back to that if I have time. How much time do I have left, actually?
You got about 30 seconds, brother. 30 seconds on the clock right now.
Okay, I'll just stop it right there then, and I'll start back on the next joint.
Okay. All right, my brother is forfeiting his time. Y'all hear it here. Wow, damn. Woo, we cooking these rounds. God damn. Let me take my man down. We're gonna bring you back up. Whew, this is intense, man. I'm glad I stayed up for this one, yo. Brother Hotep, are you up, man? You still there? Wow.
Hold on, my computer's freezing.
Oh shit. Make sure you get it good. Man, everybody like the screen, tap that screen, give this joint a good like. These have been some crazy rounds. I hope you guys was able to see both of these guys' information tonight, man. This was crazy. We are into the third round. I repeat, this is the third round of a debate titled Were the Moors All Black? These brothers have been putting out some work. We're waiting for Brother Hotep to get started here. Second round. Sorry, my bad. This is still second round. My bad. We're waiting on him to get his 10 minutes out the way. Come on, get that computer going. He got an information overload, y'all, on this computer, man. Hopefully the brother can share his screen and we'll be good to go. If you got issues sharing your screen, you need an emergency share, put it in the private chat and I probably can share it for you if you're having really technical issues, man. But come on in here. You good, Hotep?
Be the virus in your shit.
Hold on. I'm getting my stuff to get my presentation together.
All right. You good? You good? You gonna be able to do it?
I'm gonna be able to present. Let me just get this all together.
All right. So this is you're still in the second round. We got SUTEKH out the way. This presentation was pretty good. All both of you guys been putting out some good presentations, man. I appreciate you guys both coming up here. Everybody keep the likes up. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all with the Adjustment Syndicate tonight. We appreciate that. Come on, man. The family waiting for you, Hotep. Let's go. Good.
Let me. All right. Let me share my screen then.
All right. Okay, so let me get this clock ready for your time. Go ahead and share it whenever you're ready. I'm gonna restart the clock, family. Let y'all know I got a timer right here. We legit. You know what I'm saying? All right, brother, you ready? I'm gonna take it down. All right. I'm gonna start your time right about now at around a 5-minute mark. I'm gonna let you know you got 5 minutes, and around 3 minutes, I'll let you know, just like I did, brother SUTEKH. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, your time starts now, brother. Go.
All right, y'all can see my screen. So,
yep,
so with the Book of Games, right? You know, people are mislabeling the Book of Games. The subject is not Moors. The subject is a Book of Games. It's a book of games, like the Cantigas de Santa Maria is a book of miracles about the Virgin Mary. Not any Moors, really. It's not. That's not the focus. That's not the topic. And in this, you know, people say it's a Christian and a Moor playing chess. You will find nowhere does it say Christian and a Moor playing chess. That's what people chose to label this image, because, you know, they're ignoring all the contemporary sources describing the Moors as black and choosing to label certain people with a certain phenotype as Moors for whatever reason, to disprove that the Moors are black, or whatever agendas that people have. And throughout this whole Book of Games, you will not find the word Moor mentioned. So this is the page that SUTEKH referenced. You see, there's no text. And we know by his physical features, he's not a Moor. You go to the next page, and it's blank. There's nothing there. The previous page, there's some text, but it doesn't mention anything about this person being the Moor. This is, like I said, a book of games, and it's describing the rules of chess and the rules of these different games. That's the subject matter. That's the focus. And in some of these depictions, it's the people from all over the place, all over the world that they know of. They mentioned the King of India, but you're not going to find the word Moor mentioned in this book and on that page. And let's go to the Ethiopians. So this is from, this is from Salinas Polyhistor. So he was a 4th century or 3rd century. No. What century was this?
Hey, brother, you might want to blow that up. I don't know if they can see that in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make it bigger. I got y'all. So in this right here, he has a chapter 30 on Ethiopia. He says that the Ethiopians and the people of Mount Atlas are separated by the Tigris River, which is thought to be part of the Nile. So the Ethiopians, who are the Moors, and the people of Mount Atlas are separated by the Tigris River. So the Tigris River is in modern day Algeria. It's somewhere near the Atlas Mountains. The name of it today is the Jetty River, and I can pull that up for y'all. And in this location, you'll find, in Algeria specifically, you're going to find, the petroglyphs with the elephants and the giraffes and all those tropical animals, because, environmental changes happened throughout the years. So, tropical Africans lived in this area, and many people who are black still live in Algeria. So today, this is called the Jetty River, and you can see how far north that is. So the mountain range, this is what separated, the black people from the North Africans that he's talking about that are genetically different from black people. In regards to the Berbers, and this is the slave trade, talking about Berber women, because, even the barbarians or the people called Berbers were slaves. And, it says the Berber women are from the island of Barbara, which is between the west and the south. Their color is mostly black. And this is from Islamic source. This guy, Ibn Batlan, he was a Greek physician or Christian monk and a doctor in Baghdad. And he says, the Berber women, their color is mostly black, though some pale ones can be found among them. These are barbarians. If you can find one whose mother is Kutama, whose father is Sanhaja, and whose origin is Masmuda, this is the slave trade, so he's talking about her being naturally inclined to obedience and loyalty and all those matters. We're not focused on that. He says their color is mostly black, and these are barbarians. So there's not barbarians can be black and white. this is different from the Moors. You know, this is a whole different history. I wanted to show. Now let's get back to the Moors.
You got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Thank you, thank you. So we got the Annals of Ireland, where they talk about the Maori being the same as Negri man, and Mauritania the same as Negritudo. Okay, long indeed were these blue men in Erin. And then we have the 11th century Chancellor de Laurent, the Song of Roland, and it talks about the Ethiopians, who are the Moors in this history. And then he said Sudan, land of the blacks. So the source for this image right here is from corpus of early Arabic sources for West African history. So Al Idrisi, 12th century Muslim geographer, born in North Africa. He says, in the land of Sudan, there are many arid deserts like this. So the land of Sudan is not sub-Saharan Africa. In the land of Sudan, there are many arid deserts like this. This is including Mauritania, modern day Sudan. You know, these are desert countries. And then he also says, this is important. He says, because of the intensity of the heat and the burning sun, the inhabitants of this first clime, as well as those of the second and part of the third climes, are black in color with crinkled hair, in contrast with the complexion of the people of the sixth and seventh climes. So the sixth and seventh climes would be France and Britain and Russia, Germany, all those countries. While the first, the second, and the third goes up from West Africa all the way up to the Atlas Mountains. So these people are black in color with crinkled hair. These are your Moors. And this is the, and he puts the lamp. Oh,
you got 3 minutes, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. 3 minutes. Go.
All right. So, you know, let's talk about the diversity that people be seeing in the Islamic armies. So they even mention this. So this is from the 12th century Norman author of the Itinerarium Peregrinorum et Justus Regis Ricardi. From Africa too, there came countless tribes, the Natabaray, the Gaetulians, and Numidians, and from the scorching south, the people named Moors or Mauritanians, from the Greek word Moros, which means black. So here, this is more specific. It's telling you the different types of people that are involved versus the Cantigas de Santa Maria. Again, that's not the focus. The focus of those songs is about the Virgin Mary and her miracles. And I'll probably show more of that in my next, when I get the mic next. And then you got from the 12th century, the Italian author, the Liberian Derivation of Pisanus Ugutio. He says more, a certain people burnt black with summer heat. So they've been consistent throughout the centuries. Before Islam came, they were saying the Moors are black. After Islam, they're saying the Moors are black. And then we also have Albert of Aix, the 12th century. He says Moors from the land of Ethiopia. He doesn't mention any other Moors. You know, Moors are consistently being described as black, associated with black people. Brunetto Latini, the 12th century philosopher and scholar, Ethiopia, where the black people are as blackberries, and they are called Moors. And then, you know, because people focus on Spain, but again, like I said, other people interacted with the Moors. These are cross-cultural references from different populations in Europe, different kingdoms. And it says all the Moorish soldiers, so this is from Spain, all the Moorish soldiers were dressed with silk and black wool that had been forcibly acquired. Their black faces were like pitch, and the most handsome of them was as black as a cooking pan. And then we have from the 14th century the travels to Sir John Mandeville. He talks about the men of Nubia be Christian, but they be black as the Moors for the great heat of the sun. They always mentioning the sun. These are physical observations, how the environment, they're trying to think, why are these people so black? And they're blaming it on the sun, environmental evolution. They had some thought, some idea of it. You have Ethiopia is departed in two parts principle, and that is in the east part, and then the Mediterranean part, the southern part, which is called the southern part is called Mauritania, and the folk of that country be black enough and more black than the other part, and they be called Moors. So Moor and Ethiopians go hand in hand throughout history. You know, they associate Moor from Ethiopia.
That's your time, brother. That is your time, brother. And this completes the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Good push. You pushed it right to the end. This completes the second round, though. So okay, I see brother Hotep trying to put up a fight, y'all. I don't know, man. What y'all think in the chat, man? What y'all think, man? We gonna keep it going into the third round, right, fellas? If my math's right. You reset.
Yep, third round.
Third round. Let me reset my clock. And we got brother Moorish Luther King coming in hot for the third and final round, family. This is the third and final round. I need you guys to get the likes up, get these likes up. Like I said, these brothers work real hard to bring this out to you tonight. So get the likes up. We appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know when you're ready. Let me reset this clock. And
ready whenever you're ready.
Okay, brother. I'm gonna put you up. Damn it. Where the information at? Do y'all see that? Okay. All right. Okay. Your time starts now. Go for it, brother.
Okay. Yeah. So I missed the first half of that second round of his. My Wi-Fi was wigging out, but we'll just keep going. I'll catch the playback. The overwhelming majority of blacks who appeared, and this is from Race and Slavery in the Middle East by Bernard Hopkins. The overwhelming majority of blacks who appear in Islamic paintings are, however, none of these things, neither sacred figures nor monsters, neither exotic nor erotic. They are quite simply slaves and servants. They appear in countless pictures of court life, domestic life, and various outdoor scenes, in illustrations of narrative literature, and other forms of letters, and in Ottoman times, in the sumptuous albums portraying celebrations of special occasions at the Ottoman court. In these pictures, the blacks appear with fair frequency. When he does so, he is almost invariably carrying a tray, pushing a broom, leading a horse, wielding a spade, pulling an oar or a rope, or discharging some other subordinate or menial task. Blacks appear as servants and attendants, as masons and gardeners, as groomers and huntsmen, or as boatmen. Mostly they are male, though female figures occasionally appear. Some of the finest examples of the 13th century descriptive art occur in illustrations of the Arabic literary works known as makmai, a kind of poetic prose narrative, right? So a lot of these depictions you'll see in poetic works, just like the cantigas. She's trying to discredit and saying it's not about Moors. It don't have to be about Moors. They're showing depictions of these people. And one of them, dated to 1237 and probably completed in Mesopotamia, the artist vividly portrays a slave market in Yemen in which black slaves imported from Africa are brought and sold. In another similar manuscript,
brother SUTEKH,
yeah,
is there any way that you can kind of get your Wi-Fi a little ramped up? I know you're having issues. I think the family's having a harder time listening to you. I'll reset your time if it's necessary to do that.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Am I clear now?
Are you? Everybody, can y'all hear him? Talk real quick.
Y'all hear me, fam? Can y'all hear me out there? My connection bad, or am I good now?
I think you're a little bit better, man. I'm gonna reset your clock real quick and just run through it. Go for it. I'm gonna reset you, man, because they want to be able to hear you clearly. Go for it.
Okay.
Go.
Let me switch real quick to Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't wander off from that spot where you're at.
What about now? Am I better now? More clear? Less clear?
More clear. Your crystal on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and duck
Okay.
down. Go.
Okay. All right. So we'll get back. We get back to it. Okay. So the overwhelming majority of blacks who appear in Islamic paintings are, however, none of these things. They're neither monsters nor exotic or erotic figures. They're quite simply slaves. They appear in countless pictures of court life, domestic life, and various outdoor scenes and illustrations of narrative literature and other forms of bells and letters. In Ottoman times, the sumptuous albums portraying celebrations of special occasions in the Ottoman court. In these pictures, the blacks appear with fair frequency. Right when he does so, he is almost invariably carrying a tray. He's pushing a broom or leading a horse or wielding a spade, pulling an oar or a rope, or discharging some other subordinate or menial task. So, as I said, there were flunkies, right? Blacks appear as servants and attendants, as masons and gardeners, as grooms and huntsmen, or as boatmen. Mostly they are male, though female figures occasionally appear. Some of the finest examples of the 13th century descriptive art occur in illustrations of the Arabic literary works known as makamat, a kind of poetic prose narrative, right? Just like the Cantigas de Santa Maria is a poetic literary work, just as he's saying that it's not about Moors. It don't matter. It don't have to be about Moors. They are depicting these people that they are inhabiting this land with, right? And one of them dated to 1237 and probably completed in Mesopotamia. The artist vividly portrays a slave market in Yemen in which black slaves imported from Africa are bought and sold. In another manuscript completed a few years earlier in Syria, a black slave is shown bringing food. In numerous Persian, Indian, and Turkish miniatures of the 15th and 16th centuries, excuse me, blacks variously appear as grooms, huntsmen, and servants of various kinds. So my point, and this is from Race and Slavery in the Middle East by Bernard Hopkins, my point in showing this is wherever you go, wherever you see Islam and black people together, you're gonna see black people at the bottom of the barrel, right? Um, and when you see black people in this Islamic art, which this is not Islamic art, this is European art, but you will see them in menial tasks. You will see them being enslaved. You will see them as flunkies. And this is Moors and Christians in the Battle of Marrakesh, taken from the Cantigas de Santa Maria. It's the book of poems that's labeled after the Saint Mary. Don't matter. They're showing Moors. That's all that matter, right? They're showing Moors, aka the Muslim enemies to the European Christians, right? And you see all these pale faces over here. These niggas is not black. Over time, Iberian Christians became acquainted with the Muslim system of black slavery and adopted the same set of symbols and myths with additional arguments. Not only were blacks not Christian, but they were the Muslims' servant, the heathen's heathen, doubly cursed by their status as non-believers and their servile condition. The blackness of the sub-Saharan African contrasted more sharply with white Iberians than it did the tawny-colored Muslims, those Berbers, who constituted the majority of the Muslim population in Iberia in North Africa, right? Let's rewind that. The blackness of the sub-Saharan Africans contrasted more sharply with white Iberians, the Europeans, than it did with the tawny-colored Muslims, the Berbers and the Arabs, who constituted the majority of the Muslim population in Iberia and North Africa. The invidious perception of difference expressed in language that suggests black inferiority became refined and sharpened by Muslim Jews and Christians of Iberian origin. Right now, we're gonna go to Zerara. Right,
5 minutes, brother. Going good. 5 minutes.
Bet. So Zerara is a chronicler of the Portuguese. He was a chronicler for the Prince Henry the Navigator, right? Zerara's Chronicle of Guinea. In that chronicle, Zerara describes the large region of Western Africa designated as Guinea, as well as its inhabitants. So notice that. Hold on, let me keep going before I say that. The Senegal River is the dividing line between Terra dos Moros, the land of the Moors, and Terra dos Negros, the land of the blacks. You see a separation again. You see that distinction again. The land of the Moors and the land of the blacks. Right? That's crazy because all Moors were black. Right? I thought so. At one point, Zerara equates the Senegal River with the Nile, right? And that's irrelevant. So, Spain music, 13th century, a Spanish Muslim on the left, this guy right here, and he might seem dark or black compared to this motherfucker over here until you put him next to a sub-Saharan African, right? Prior to Islam's venture in Morocco, the concept of freedom was based more on the notion of protection from and freedom from outside incursions and threats from other groups than on our modern sense of individual liberty. As such, freedom from external threats was created by bonds of alliance with a particular tribal group on the connection and the protection that a certain tribe could provide. Freedom then was established through tribal solidarity. Blacks interacted with Berbers both through trade. Notice how they made a distinction between blacks and Berbers. Notice how you always see that. That's weird, huh? They interacted through trade and war. Individual blacks living in the land of the Berbers, there we go again, occupy either a marginalized status, being a servant or slave, or dependent status into marriage or vassal age.
3 minutes.
Got it. And this is from Black Morocco, A History of Race, Slavery, and Islam. Right. One more time from Black Morocco. Berbers' racial attitudes towards black people were likely formed prior to the Arab conquest, when the Berbers of the Sanhaja and the Masmuda, these are Berbers of the Almohad, these motherfuckers that started the Almohads, right? One of them at least, were forced to leave their homeland because of external invasions. Berbers, victims of successful invasions by the Romans, the Vandals, and the Byzantines, were forced to move south into areas predominantly inhabited by blacks. Technologically superior as a result of their contact with different cultures and the use of the camel, Berbers most likely conquered the black populations of the Sahara. Berbers conquered the black populations of the Sahara and assumed for themselves a superior status, subordinating the blacks because blacks were different in their culture and racial characteristics. A racial binary was in the making. And this is something that this was to help you out, really. You know, this is from the Book of Games, which you said the Book of Games was about Mary. It's not. It has nothing to do with the Queen Mary. The Book of Games is not the Canticas. It's different. Those are black Moors. Just, you know, because I'm not saying there are no black Moors. Now let's go to a primary, right? This is from Zerara, that chronicler that was for Prince Henry the Navigator, right? This is the time he lived, 1410 or 1474, circa. Here you must note that these blacks were Moors like the others, though they're slaves, in accordance with the ancient custom, which I believe to have been because of the curse which after the flood Noah laid upon his son Ham, cursing him in this way, that his race should be subject to all other races of the world, and from his race these blacks are descended, right? And that's from a primary source, somebody that was contemporary who lived with these people, right? This is an interesting observation on Zerara's part for two reasons. First, the reader is presented with entirely new grounds, biological ones, for enslavement. If the Moors could be enslaved as prisoners of war, the black Moors, it's crazy how they may have to make that distinction between Moors and the black Moors, could be enslaved as their accursed descendants of Ham. Second, if this genealogy of black Moors set them apart from Moors proper, Moors proper. Crazy, huh? How is it that Zarara could claim that these blacks were Moors like the others? Did he mean that in a religious sense? No.
I hate to stop your time, brother, but damn, y'all been. Ooh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look, now I ain't playing. That's the time. So, y'all have an opportunity to rebuttal if y'all want to do that too. So I'm gonna bring up Mr. Hotep. You still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second.
All right. Everybody tap that screen. These brothers are going at it. They duking it out. These are some crazy ass rounds. Woo, this is nice. I'm glad I stayed up for this. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, while you doing that, just let me say, man, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate y'all. I know it's late, you know what I mean? But you know, teaching don't stop. And I appreciate the brother too for, showing up and, making this happen. Win, lose, or draw, even though you definitely lost. Appreciate you though, bro.
Yeah, man. All y'all showed up tonight, man, and that make us feel good about what we do. Y'all showed up. Hey, if y'all haven't shopped at PortCityVibe, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in while my brother doing his thing. Go ahead and shop at PortCityVibe.com whenever you guys get a chance. I got the necklaces out. I got the earrings for the lady. PortCityVibe.com. I'm gonna just put that in there. It's a shameless plug. That's what we do. You all right over there, Mr. Hotep?
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
Okay. They making sure you live out there in the chat, man. They like, damn, man. They I don't know, man. I can't say how I feel out loud because I'm the moderator tonight. But this has been nice. I'm glad both of you guys have came to the damn debate. Now, Brother Imhotep proved to everybody that y'all can come up here and we can get this going. We can do a scholastic debate. This is how it's supposed to be done. We're not supposed to be on TikTok cussing each other out 24 hours a day, 7 days of the week. Let me know when you're ready, Brother Hotep.
All right, let me I'm
Hey Craig, you live to fight another day. You live to fight another day. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but you win. You win to fight another day. So you live to fight another day. I fucked it up. Yes, we got the hip hop shirt at PortCityVibe.com. Come get you some. Let me know when you're ready, bro. I got you.
Let's see. Why it ain't popped up?
Hey, while he doing that, okay, you ready?
We waiting on him to show his John. Morris Luther King. I know, right, Sean?
Yeah, I was going to throw a plug in there while you was getting ready. But if you're ready, we could go. You can go.
If you're ready, ready. If not, this is plug time. We're throwing our plugs in.
I'm not ready.
Okay. PortCityVibe.com. Make sure I go ahead and get you something nice for the summer. Ladies, I got the earrings coming. They are coming. Hoodoo, butterfly. I need you to model for me, girl. All right. I'm gonna send some earrings your way as soon as I get some.
No, that's right. Share my screen for me real quick. Just 1 second. I lit up the post debate bleezy.
Oh shit, there you go.
Yeah, man. So I need all y'all to go over to Same Tree, Different Branch Publishing.com. If y'all readers, if y'all like to read, if y'all like to support black businesses, black authors, you know what I mean? We got the books all the way, and we got something for everybody. You feel me? From adults to children, we got kids coloring books in this junk. You know what I mean? Like, go browse it. Go browse the bookstore section. Same Tree Different Branch Publishing.com. Check out something. See, we got shit for the kids. You know what I mean? One night before bed, Colorado Trip to Motherland. Then we got the Spears collection, Spears of the Mossy, Spiritual Combat, all that. You know what I mean? And we got more than what I'm showing. But just go over there, shop with us, show some love. We got books from my brother Sean about SARS. We got some of everything, bro. We're coming up Balad Al Sudan, the land of the blacks. The coming of Islam in the Balad Al Sudan. You know what I mean? Just go and show some love, man. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Fuck with your boys.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. We ain't nobody gonna support us except for us around here, yo. I got Sean books sitting on the shelf. I got Mo Facts. Don't forget about brother Mo Facts. Got a book sitting on my shelf. All that good stuff. Hey, you ready, Hotep? We putting these plugs in. We're gonna keep putting these plugs in until you're done.
I'm waiting for my image to load.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's here.
All right, man. Let me take my shamelessportcityvibe.com plug down. Make sure y'all shop till you drop. Are you ready, brother? Let's go. Third round. Let's go. You good?
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, share that thing, man. No diddy. All right, let me get my clock right and ready. Resetting the clock. You ready?
Yeah.
Your fan is like making a lot of noise. They're like, "What the hell is that sound in the back?" That's his fan, y'all.
All right.
There you go. They're like, "What the hell is that behind you?" Though it sounds like you at a gas station or something. But anyway, are you ready, brother?
Yeah. Y'all can see my screen.
Everybody can see a screen. Here we go. I'm gonna start your time right now, brother. Go for it.
All right, like I said, I already went over the book of games, but let me go back to that. Like I said, the book of games is a book of games. It's not about the Moors. It's about how to play these goddamn games. And this guy is not called a Moor, and that's very pseudo for people just to label that guy as a Moor, even though people have written for centuries describing the Moors as black, and people just label anybody as a Moor. So yeah, even this is from the .arizona.edu, University of Arizona, and they'll tell you folio 64R. Now, the author of this this paper, he calls the man a red-bearded Arab. I don't know if y'all can see that. Red-bearded Arab. And he says even the text before that, the page before that, it has only text and no elimination. So we can go back to that and we can see that the page before that is just text, no illumination. Folio 64R. Nope, it's not a Moor. No mention of the word Moor. Let's go to the Cantigas de Santa Maria. Like I said, a fictional book. And it's just like the pretendians who take images of these dark Indians and Indians that look like Africans and misconstrue the history. Outliers, stuff like that. It's not true. The people of America were not black, Native American. Even though some artists mistakenly depicted these people like that, it's an outlier. We know how the people were described and how they look. But let's get to the Cantigas de Santa Maria. It says the statue that cried out against the arrest of a monk, a talking statue, a statue that's crying out This is your source. Like I said, every story is going to be about a miracle and the Virgin Mary. This one, they said the statue that intercepted an arrow. So this is one of the poems. It says, the defenders of the castle took a statue of the Virgin and placed it above the castle gates. They prayed to the Virgin to save them from the attack. One of the count's men demanded that the gatekeeper open the gate. The gatekeeper refused and was shot by the attacker. He would have been wounded, but the statue of the Virgin raised its knee to intercept the arrow. The statue of the Virgin raised its knee to intercept the arrow, a fictional source. And to hammer that point home, even when, the Moors are being described as black, they don't depict them as black. So you got the 3 black Moors who had entered the castle, were thrown to their deaths from the top of the wall. And we don't see, as SUTEKH says, niggas, even though they describe these men as black. So you have a case where whoever wrote the book or wrote the poems and whoever illustrated the poems are not in agreement with each other. It could have been the person who illustrated it was illiterate. We don't know what was the issue, but it's a corruption from the literary text to the illustrations. And let's go to the one about the war in Marrakesh. So it says, the banner of the Virgin defeats the Moors at Marrakesh. The banner of the Virgin. So it's talking about how the Virgin Mary defeated the Moors, or the people in Marrakesh. And it's talking about a battle in Marrakesh, and it depicts the people in North Africa looking like this. But if we go to, Islamic sources and how they describe the people, let's go with Al-Nuwari. So this was a Upper Egyptian scholar. He describes the people. Let's go. It says, so he's talking about the people of Sudan and the country of Ghana. He says the people of this region are black and it's sparsely populated. And then you have the second region, which includes Upper Egypt, and the south of the Maghreb. And he says these people are between brown and black. And the word used here is Samar. And if you know Arabic and people who speak Arabic, they call a lot of black people Samar or Asmar, which today they translate as brown, but a lot of us are brown. A lot of us black people. So that you're dealing with 2 types of black people, brown and those really pitch black. And it's dealing with undertones and shades. And let's get to the third climb. And while that loads, I'm gonna just go to here. This is another Arabic source.
5 minutes, brother. 5 minutes. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You got 5 minutes. Go ahead. Keep on.
All right. Another Arabic source where the third region, he says the population is Samar. I don't know if y'all can see that. Where is it at? So the third region, the population is Samar. And in the third region, he's going to mention Marrakesh. So this 13th century Ibn Said of Spain, al-Maghribi, he tells us that the people of Marrakesh and these regions are brown, or Samar. So this is between black and brown. The capital of Marrakesh, capital of the Maghreb, Marrakesh. And let's go over to the Berbers being described as black, more Arabic sources, the Masmuda, the Almohads, and a group called the Musamida, and they are jet black in complexion from the land of Al-Musamida. It is said the male population amounts to 20,000 in number. And then we also have this one, the Masmuda. They have a vast amount of land. And the furthest point so they are men from the furthest point of the Maghreb. This is the High Atlas Mountains in Morocco and surrounding areas. They have a vast amount of land, and they are jet black people throughout. And they are people who are memorizers of the book of Allah, the Most High. And so they're describing the people as black. These are Arabic sources. And then when it comes to the Franks and the Roman slaves and that they had in North Africa, slave soldiers, as some people call it, he says that, these guys, molested the women in North Africa, and that the children had blue eyes, and they were telling them about the Frank and Roman slaves. And he says, "What is this I see? You are hues of brown, or hues of Samar, Asmar, So, these people, this is an inaccurate depiction of African people. I find it funny people pick and choose, because they say the Moors are black, and then they say that's inaccurate description of the people of North Africa.
Brother. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Sorry to interrupt you again. 3 minutes on this topic.
Yeah, you good. But these pasty people with blonde and reddish beards, these are people from Europe, so they're depicting themselves as the Moors. You even see the Christian banner, how they even got Christian banners and crosses and knights. This is very inaccurate, just like the John Ogilvy in his Book of America and all those other false, inaccurate depictions of Native Americans. I find it hypocritical that SUTEKH would do something like this, and it goes against all the thousands, and not thousands, but the various amounts of sources that tell us that these people are various shades of brown and black, the people of North Africa. And then he showed the Bidan. I don't know why he did that. The people of Mauritania. This is the Emir of Mauritania. He looks like a brother, and his notables, his soldiers with him. These are they're supposed to be a mix of Berbers and Arabs, right? And this is what they look like. They look like some of them look like West Africans to me. Some of them look like a little bit Arab. This is supposed to be an Arab chief and his son. They say this is a Moor, the Emir. This is a Moorish chief. Supposedly these people are not black. More people from Mauritania, Senegal. More of them right here. The black women, a black woman. More black men and black women. Nomads, woolly hair. These might be Arabs right here, or a mix. And so, he says that, they say that the Moors were being described black was more superstition and religious reasons. But, that same logic doesn't apply when they're making distinction between Moors who are of the Abrahamic faith, these black people who are of the Abrahamic faith, and the Negroes who are of the voodoo and all that stuff, superstitions. And they are making the distinction between those two types of people. When he read the Zurara Chronicles. So I find it hypocritical that people pick and choose. And then, more on the Bidan, they called the people of Sonink, the Mandinka. And another source, the Fulani are called, and it says, this is from the Tariq al-Fatash. Then he outfitted another army that was sent with Dindi Fari of Fumba, who was ordered to kill the Bidan, dwelling in the town of Numa. So,
and that completes your time, my brother. That completes your time. That completes your time. That completes your time, brother. That completes the third and final round. Now, y'all have an opportunity to rebuttal. Let me bring SUTEKH back up. I'm sorry, Moorish Luther King. Let me bring him back up. Y'all have an opportunity to rebuttal these if y'all want to. We just completed 3 rounds of scholastic debate between y'all two. So if you got, I got all the time in the world if you guys want to rebuttal.
Yeah, so I want to ask real quick, why, how are you going to counter the genetics, the genetic studies, the genetic data showing that these people in North Africa that are indigenous to North Africa, that's been there for tens of thousands of years, are genetically distinct from populations that are indigenous to below the Sahara, the land of the blacks? That genetic distinction, like, how are we getting around that?
We're not getting around that. What are you talking about? The South Sahara is not called the land of the blacks, all right?
Cool. I mean, it don't matter what
the land of the, and I find that weird because then people of Upper Egypt, there's people in the Sahara who are black. Sudan was a lineage, because if you read Arabic sources, you would know that they would say Sudan, son of Canaan. So it was a lineage, and then it also had a connotation of people who practice voodoo and stuff like that, and like spirituality that was dark.
Cool, but that still doesn't refute the genetic data that these people indigenous to North Africa are genetically distinct.
I just showed you the people. And then you're talking North Africa is huge. What
You
group are you
showed
talking
me
about?
some of the people. What you were supposed to be doing is showing that Moors are all black.
I did.
So how would you do that if
DNA are you talking about? What DNA group?
How would you do that if I showed you that Moors proper was referring to Berbers, North Africans, people that are indigenous to North Africa? And those people that are indigenous to North Africa are genetically distinct to everybody below the Sahara.
And I just showed you that Moors proper are people who are called Ethiopians from the land of Ethiopia. And that included a vast region all the way up to the Atlas Mountains.
So you're not gonna answer my question.
So, well, what are you talking about? I just explained that part, and you're picking the population who was in the Atlas Mountains on the coast of the Mediterranean and saying these are the Moors. And
is that what I was doing?
Isolation is proof of them being Moors or whatever, which is, you're moving the goalposts and planting them.
Not what I said.
Planting them as the Moors just because they have a genetic isolation.
That's not what I said.
And most geographers and writers, chroniclers tell us the Moors were Ethiopian type people. And
what about the people that lived with them, though? What about the people that lived with them in Spain?
They describe them as black.
What about themselves? Did they identify with those people that are indigenous to below the Sahara?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
You know you're a motherfucking lie. Okay, so let me ask you this then.
Why would you? My question. You already asked the question. Why would you show sources that don't line up with Arabic sources? Misrepresenting the people of North Africa, showing them with blonde beards and stuff like that, looking Germanic, and saying
you mean red beards,
red and blonde. There was blonde beards in there too, and we know the history of those people in North Africa if you read the Arabic sources and stuff like that. But why would you try to misrepresent the people of North Africa like that? The same way pretendians misrepresent Native Americans using outliers and false depictions.
Okay, so I'm not. Do you finished with your question?
Yeah, from the Book of Miracles. Why would you do that?
Okay, so I'm not doing anything. I'm not showing anything. All I'm showing is the primary sources. All I'm showing is how the people that lived with them depicted them. All I'm showing is the people that were there during the time period that we supposed to be in, 711 to 1492. Because remember, we agreed to that, and I should have made that clear when we lined up the topic for the debate, because that's what we agreed to. So I'm showing the people that lived with them in the area, in the time period, how they saw them. That's their depiction. I ain't draw that shit. Also, the Book of
Native Americans were black. SUTEKH. If you're going to roll with that, you're going to have to accept that Native Americans were black.
I don't have to. I have to accept the evidence, the genetic evidence, the linguistic evidence, the anthropological and archaeological evidence, and the historical evidence. That's what I gotta accept.
Are you going to accept that Native Americans were black?
I don't have to. I don't have to fall to your false dichotomy.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're a hypocrite.
Okay, so I answered your question. Now, why would it be a distinction between Moors or white Moors or tawny Moors and black Moors? Why would you have to put black in there? Why would you have to do that if they were all black?
Are all African Americans the same shade?
Are you answering my question with a question?
Like, African Americans are not all the same shade. Pitch black, brown, yellow bone,
pulling the wool over your eyes.
So this guy, he's pretending like, and then this is way after. Like, you didn't bring any source that describes the Moors as white at all. None of your sources said the Moors were white. You didn't provide any source that described the Moors being anything other than black. If we're being honest, you didn't provide any source that said the Moors were not black.
Gotcha. So everybody make sure
medieval. Hold on, I'm not done, because there's centuries of writing. There's centuries of writing. So surely, these people cannot have been making the same mistake, misidentifying the Moors as black for thousands of years before Islam and after Islam. Now, I agree that the word has evolved in the modern period during the age of exploration. That's where you start to see the change, and that's what that's where most people take their evidence that the Moors were not black, and then they superimpose the age of exploration onto the medieval period, when in the medieval period the Moors are simply black people throughout and throughout, period. And then we cross-reference with Arabic sources, and it lines up perfectly. They are the people called Asmar and Sudan, or Aswad. Yeah, it's kind of sad. And then the genetic evidence, like I said, the Moors were from different places. They said the Moors were from the land of Ethiopia, so that includes a vast region from Mauritania to Niger, northern Nigeria to Senegal and southern Algeria to
bro, we don't
southern
need a lecture, bro.
Upper Egypt and Sudan, because you have the Beja. And so it's it's multifaceted, and you can't simplify it. The genetic variety of these people, because again, more in the medieval period meant black, and black people came from different parts of Africa. So the genetic variety would reflect that.
Okay, well, the genetic variety don't reflect that. They just don't. They show that North Africans are indigenous to North Africa, and they are genetically distinct from those people dwelling south of the Sahara. Now, I asked you, why is there a distinction with black Moors? You start talking about skin complexion. That's not what I asked you. You speaking on pretendians, but you playing a pretendian game. We're not talking about that. I said, why is there a distinction between black Moors or white and tawny Moors? Why is there a distinction?
When is that distinction made, SUTEKH?
Those people.
When is that distinction made, SUTEKH? SUTEKH, when is that distinction made?
Bro, it's your turn to answer my question.
I need to know when that distinction made. When was that distinction made?
Okay, well, you follow up with my question, and then you ask your question. That's how that works. That's how we've been making it work.
So, this person, he's also talking about the genetic isolation of, North African DNA and stuff like that. And if you Google like the Tuareg of Burkina Faso, these are supposed to be Berbers, right? And they have 77% of the Berber marker, 77.7%, I believe. And you Google the Tuareg of Burkina Faso, these are black people throughout. And just the Tuareg in general are supposedly, they're the veiled Sanhaja, along with the Tubu and Zagawa. And these people inhabited the Sahara Desert. They move around from place to place. So that again debunks this idea that black people were just below the Sahara, and that the genetics, the phenotypes and genetics go hand in hand, which they don't, because these Tuareg, even though they're black, they share the same DNA with other North Africans who are not black. And also, what else I want to say? And then he doesn't know who.
Does it got to do with my question, bro? What is you talking about? Does it got to do with my question? Because you kind of just going on a rant. And so what you said had absolutely nothing to do with my question. But make sure I added them extra slides in for a reason. So them slides where I told y'all to pause the video and read it, it has to do with what he just talked about, the Tuareg. You'll see why it's some black Tuareg in there.
No, he doesn't know the history of the Tuareg, and he doesn't.
Also, my info is coming from a Tuareg himself. So, but go ahead with your question though.
So you was talking about the time in the black and the white Moors, right?
What about it? I said, why is there the distinction of black Moors?
Okay, that distinction is not made until the early modern period. So I don't care about that. That's not the medieval period.
That's incorrect. But that's not answering my question.
It
Anyway,
is.
I asked
So
you why.
I've researched this history extensively, and I've not come across that tawny Moor and white Moor until the early
I
modern
said
period.
black Moor.
Yeah, that's early modern period.
We talking about 711 to 1492. So you're saying that term black Moor wasn't used between 711 and 1492?
Black Moor, early modern period, 1400s.
Between medieval, between 711 and
1492 is not
1492.
medieval. 1400s is early modern period.
Cool. Medieval and part of the early modern period. 711 between 14, the time period that we agreed on, right? So I know you're a man of honesty. So we agreed on that time period. So between 711 and 1492, was that term black Moor in use?
It wasn't in use before the 1400s, I can say that. And so that would be the distinction right there, the cutoff and the evolution of the word Moor, and where they start to describe other people as Moors. So after the 1400s, that's where you get it. But he still, like, guys, if y'all notice, he didn't show any sources from the 700s, 800s, 900s, 1000s, 1100s, 1200s of the Moors being described as white, or 1300s too. No sources, literatures that's saying these people are white and yellow beard, blonde beards, red hair, nothing. Straight hair, nothing.
Right,
no Islamic sources that describe the populations either.
Since you can't answer my question, let me just clarify.
I answered your question. You just didn't like my answer.
Cool. So let me clarify that I said in the beginning that I never made the stance that Moors were European. When I say white, me and you both know that we're not talking about Europeans, right? But I'm not even talking about white Moors. I'm asking, why is black Moor a distinction? And you can't answer it, so it's cool.
I already answered your question. I said
you have
the evolution of the word.
You answer my question.
So
do you have a question? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
So,
you have a question? Go ahead, crash out.
So what's wrong with your understanding of Bidam? Like, you don't know that was the word used for Fulani and Sonic people and nobles?
Which nobles?
You pulled up an image of some modern Arab or immigrant to Mauritania who's profiting off of the oppression of black people. I find it weird that you don't show the variety of the status of black people under Islam. You just went to focusing on the oppression of black people, and
that wasn't my job. That wasn't my job.
That was weird. The Ottomans don't have anything to do with the Moors.
My job was to show that there were Moors that were non-black. That's it.
The Ottomans are not Moors, so it was very weird for you to pull up sources about the Ottoman empires and the Ottomans, how they treated black people, which has nothing to do with African people and the African society, indigenous African societies. Anyway, it was a weird point.
Are we making any questions or statements?
No. And just plain weird. And so if you use, and then the Book of Games and the Cantigas, those are not credible sources.
So I showed earlier in my slides that Moors for a certain time period were the Muslim enemies to European Christians. That included the Ottoman Turks as well.
The Ottomans were not,
because they were Muslims.
But they were
so that incorporated them. If you peep my earlier slides, I show you the evolution of the term Moor, when it mean in that period, what it meant in this period. You know what I mean? So that's all you gotta do. Just go back to the slides. Refer to the slides.
Moors. You gotta show the source directly. You just can't infer that there are Moors just because they're Muslim. You're jumping. You're jumping.
I thought all I had to do was show non-black Moors. I'm pretty sure that's all I had to do.
You had to show literature that said the Moors are not black, or the Moors being described as white or something, or something other than black. And you didn't do that. You failed to do that.
Berbers, can you show me Berbers referring to themselves as black or identifying with those people that are indigenous to sub-Saharan Africa?
There are different types of Berbers, so
any of them. Any of those indigenous Berbers from North Africa. Can you show me the Sanhaja? Since you wanted a specific group, can you show me the Sanhaja referring to themselves as blacks or identifying with those that are indigenous to below the Sahara? And when I say Sanhaja, when I say Berbers, I'm talking about genetically. I'm talking about those genetic people that are indigenous to North Africa, not people who have came up from sub-Saharan Africa and migrated there. That's not what I'm talking about. So let me be specific.
And you want me to show sources or video? What do you want? Of them saying I identify with the label black?
Whatever you got, how you want it.
So you're jumping because we're dealing with Moors, and
I'm asking you. I'm asking you how you want it.
So you said Moor was an exonym, right? So why are we jumping to how?
Because I also showed you Moors proper meant Berbers.
We agreed on the Moors, and you're jumping to Berbers and stuff like that, and the Moors were not Berbers in the proper sense. They were not. And
refer back to my slides. Everybody in the chat, refer back to my slides.
You have no literature from the medieval period that says the Moors are these Berbers, a type of people that inhabit North Africa. You don't have no literature. I showed all the literature describing the Moors.
I have art from the medieval period showing that there were Moors that weren't black.
And I'm not done. So this is also weird for you because like people like the Somalis don't identify with being black, even though they are a type of black people. And
I'm not talking about the Somalis, so that's irrelevant. I asked you about Berbers, people that are indigenous to North Africa.
They were called Berbers. And
okay, I ain't asking what they were called. I'm talking about people that are indigenous to North Africa.
Their white DNA is genetically linked to North Africans.
And what about their autosomal DNA? What they say? What about the paternal?
It's autosomal. It's different.
I mean, what about the mitochondrial?
And that's different too.
Okay, so we ain't talking about them. Exactly. We talking about the people that are indigenous to North Africa. In North Africa today. Why is anybody else can easily answer this question. Either I know, boom, here it is. Or I don't know. Boom, there it is. We know who Berbers is, nigga. Why is we playing these fucking semantic games?
No, you don't know who Berbers are, nigga. Because you ignoring all the sources. Like you ignore that they say Moors are from the land of Ethiopia. You ignore that shit. And you just picking and choosing what you want to believe, just like the Pretendians.
Put the link in the chat.
That identify the location of the Moors in the medieval period.
I think so.
No location or where they were from.
Might want to come up. I don't think this is going nowhere. We playing semantic games.
And then again, with their contiguous to Santa Maria, just like the Pretendians. It doesn't line up. The illustrations don't even line up with the literature. 3 black Moors from a castle and they showing white people. Just like the Pretendians.
I guess you can refer back to my slides again where I showed that blackness sometimes was metaphorical.
And then that these Native Americans have
see how my slides make sense for everything.
Sudan is metaphorical. Because the Fulani are called Bidan, and you will not find the Fulani mentioned in Arabic sources, that name. And people associate them with the Takarur, but if you go to Tariq al-Fatash, someone who's from West Africa, he identifies the Fulani as the Bidan.
Hey, so are you saying people just made up some paintings from the 12th and 13th century just because they know niggas was gonna come down 5, 6, 7, 800 years later and say the Moors was black? Hey, so let me get these fake ass pictures so these niggas 800 years later won't think the Moors is all niggas.
What happened was the artist, that's not the focus of the songs. The focus of the songs, and like the Book of Games, is the Book of Games. This is games, and the literature is talking.
And they showing motherfuckers playing games. And
yeah, and they're not
the motherfuckers wasn't black either.
They showing Indians and Muslims from different types of people. You know, you have so many ethnic groups, and then they show the black people who are the
Muslims, right?
And then
Muslims, right?
The Contiguous
was
to
they
Santa
Muslims?
Maria is a book.
Was they Muslims?
Yeah.
Muslims.
Different type of Muslims.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna let the fellas up. The debate is over. This is the discussion. This is the post discussion. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for the fellas. They are knocking on the door, and they said, "Let me in this motherfucker." So I'm gonna let the homies in.
Yeah, ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, man.
Come on in here, get you some of this, y'all. I hope y'all like my bell.
Mandingo party.
And you remember, you used one of the pictures from the Book of Games, and it didn't even say he was a Moor in the Book of Games. I showed the folio picture, no text that says this is a Christian and a Moor playing chess.
Was he a Muslim?
He was a Muslim. By his dress.
Oh, how you know that?
By his dress, or he could have been. He could have been a Mozarab.
So you made that up, right?
He could have been a Mozarab. I mean, we can use context clues, bro. I mean,
bro, no, you can't. We got evidence and everything. I got a question for you.
All three, I think Port City and him, they both used that image, and it didn't say he was a Moor at all.
I have a question for you, brother. You said that Tariq. Who is Tariq al-Fatish?
I said Tariq al-Fatash.
Who is Tariq al-Fatash?
That's a book. What are you talking about?
But you called it a person earlier.
Oh, I said even a West African author of the Tariq al-Fatash.
No, there's not one author of the. Who wrote the Tariq al-Fatash?
Who wrote it? I'm pretty sure it was Mahmoud.
Who?
Mahmoud Kati.
Are you sure about that?
Who else? Was it somebody else?
I know the main person. I know the main name, Mahmoud Kati. So what does that have to do with the point I made about the Fulani being the
all right? So you claim that you wrote the Fatash. Is that correct?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, because you were sitting up here with your chest out while you was talking to SUTEKH, trying to act like he don't know shit about West Africa.
He don't.
So what is this? Hold on, brother. Hold on. Where in the Tariq, which is in my hands, the primary is in my hands, written in Arabic, and I have the translation. Where in there does it say that all the Moors were black?
And I didn't say that Tariq al-Fatash says that. I said that the Fulani, because he mentioned the Bidan.
Where in the Tariq al-Fatish does it say that all the Fulani are black?
All the Fulani are black. What are you talking
just said
about?
Something about the Fulani, and you claim that all of them
will be done. And he
black.
because he meant. I said no, that they are to be done.
Okay, so where in the Fatish are they calling the Fulani Badani, which is designated to Mauritania, where the Berbers were, and they were only calling themselves that because of something else. What I'm getting at is that you gotta act like you know what you're talking about. So I'm coming up here like
page 95, nigga. Check it, nigga. Since you got the book in your hand.
Page 95.
Come up here
page 95.
Fuck, nigga.
Page 95. Now, are you looking at a PDF or are you looking at a book?
You cutting off a little bit, bro. It seems like you're getting cut off a little bit.
Are you?
I'm the nice brother. This the mean brother, nigga. You should have
fucking Sean off.
Which way you want to go? Let me take my goddamn background off.
That one, not the blue one, the other one. Page 92 on that one.
Hey, Sean, let me see that blue one you got real quick. Let me see that one.
No. This is the Sudan. This is the Tariq al-Sudan, and this is the Fatish. That's not it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I told you I got Muslim shit. Plenty of.
I think I got them Jones too.
Just go to page 92 and 95. Where are you going?
I'm on here. Which page do you want me to go to, bro? It's Arabic.
95. Of the one that you pulled up, that one right there.
So where on here does it say that the Fulani are Badani. All the Fulani are Badani. Because in this chapter that you're telling me to go to, and I'm on 95, in this chapter, what is this chapter about? History of the kings of the Songhai from the dynasty of the Shias, especially of Shia Ali. So we're talking about Shia Ali in this thing, in this chapter. And when we get to 95, the only mention of Badani is on page 95, where it says, then he outfitted another army that was sent with him, that was sent with the Denda Fari Afumba, who was ordered to kill the Badan, dwelling in the town of Numa. When you go down to the source 67 in manuscript A and B, each includes note in the margins indicating that the Badan made up of a portion of Fulani tribe of the Sinfatari. B, that the Badan made up of a portion of a Fulani tribe of Fantari and Sifantir. A, Sudan also speaks of the Fulani tribe by his name. The Shia Ali made an expedition against the tribe. One of the Fulani captured in the course of this said raid and given in the marriage an imam in Timbuktu. It was from this union at the maternal grandmother of the father of Sa'di, the author of the Tariq al-Sudan. So now you got to go over here because the source is taking you from the Fatish into here. But it still ain't saying that all of the Fulani are Badani.
I didn't say that.
So again,
hey, put that book on the screen so we can see that, Sean.
Huh?
Hey, Sean, put that book on the screen so everybody can see what you got real quick.
My bad.
This
is where he won. This is where he started.
Fulani are Badani people.
This tape. Now you got to come here. Right. John Huntley. Right. So this is translated very well. Now, but hold on. This is the primary edition.
Damn.
I got two copies too.
You got one on me, dog.
Yeah. So just for everybody out there, this is the translation of basically this right here. As you can see, it says primary source edition. And if you read Muslim shit, because all this shit is written in that shit. So again, bro, when you said that the Fulani is something, no, they're not. Not all the Fulani. Just like you made an indictment of Tuareg and you claimed that all the Tuareg were black. No, they are not. Bro, listen, the Tuareg, the oldest Tuareg, are in North Africa. We don't even really get black Tuaregs until later. They start converting over and then they being malicious and shit. So don't sit there and try to make yourself to be out something that you're not. Come on, man. We all studied this history, bro.
So
but you can't say it.
I didn't say all Tuareg were black, and you're missing the point. The Fulani are Bidan, right?
No, they're not. Some of them are. Some of them are.
Some of them are. So can you show the Fulani being Sudan?
Some of them are. You said show what?
Can you show the Fulani being Sudan?
Absolutely.
Some are West Africa, bro. Some are Bidan. So what is the Bidan?
Just like just like the debate topic. Listen to me. It's just like the debate topic. Hold on. Listen, culturally, hold on. Ask the question. I'm trying to give you the overall answer. You lost the debate at the title. Bro, the Fulani have Badani and Sudani culture. It's a culture thing. The whole label of Badani is all about the culture. So when you're trying to sit here and be specific about things, that's why they say white, right? The Arabs came in here and then superimposed the word Badani on these people and on other people, because they said that those North African Berbers practice their religion and their culture traditionally to them. So they call them Badani in culture. Now, You want to talk about Arab writers? I got a ton over there. But the point of, especially when your boy Fatuti and the Macadama, when they talking all of that old stuff and they start being scientific in there, they're telling us this. So again, if the debate is about were the Moors black, all black, the answer is emphatically no. Yes. They were not all black. They were no, bro. Listen to me, bro. I'm trying to give you. Hold on.
I need you to show something because
hold on. They were not all black. Just hear me. We heard 2 hours from you, bro. We heard 2 hours. You can at least give me 5.
Just one at a time. We're gonna pass the mic around. It's all good.
Yeah, so I'm finna get off of it so everybody else can go. I'm finna get off of it because you need to go. Bro, what I'm saying to you is this. There were white Moors and there were black Moors. That's what the distinguishment comes in at when they labeled the Badani.
Stop talking like a pretender.
Stop talking over people, dog. Come on, man.
Okay, so they never called themselves the Badani Moors, the people in Mauritania?
I didn't say that. What time period are you talking?
Through and through, nigga.
What time period?
Leave, bro. Like the debate was over. There was no damn all black Moors.
Yes, there was.
Come on, man. You lost the title.
You're not giving me a time period. You are inflating and superimposing time period.
You're trying to tell them that the leadership.
So give me a time period.
Not all black. How the hell they all black? Period. You know what I'm saying? Even the leadership that went in there, Tariq was not black, man. I talked to you about this.
Guess what? An Arab from Mauritania. He
said stereotypes about the people in the Sudan below the in the Sahara. They had stereotypes, brother, against the people in the Sahara. They did. They write about them in these books.
I mean, I got the slide about the Tuareg, but the debate over, so I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Dang, I gotta cut my dang. I'm gonna mute my mic, but I'm gonna put the book.
Word up. I gotta get.
Okay, villain. What do you think black means? Like, what do you mean when you say they black?
It's pretty clear. Black is black skin, woolly hair.
That's it.
Genetically African.
So if you genetically African, just being somebody descended or somebody native to the continent of Africa and dark skin and then curly hair, kinky hair, that's it.
Yeah, you can also I mean, there's also black people in Asia and stuff like that, but we know because we're talking about phenotype, not genotype. So I probably should have separated that. Just phenotypically, y'all know what a black person is. You know, you can pick them out of a crowd.
I'm right now in West Africa.
You know, black skin, and then the black African versus the black Indian of Asia. Even though both peoples are black, the people of India and Pakistan and all those regions, Sri Lanka, they may be black, but physically by skin color.
All right, cool. So, and their origins are where? The Moors you talking about?
Based on the sources, they're from, some of them from West Africa, some of them is from the Sahara, southern Libya.
We know that, but like the origins.
Their origins.
As far back as you can trace it.
They're supposed to be from East Africa.
Below, above the Sahara.
Like along the Nile. So if you want to, I don't know if you consider Sudan sub-Saharan Africa. It's literally in the Sahara. So like the Sudan and Ethiopia region, between that region.
Okay, so they started in the Sudan and Ethiopia, and then the Moors went out of there and then made other people Moors, and that's where we get the white Moors from. Is that what you're saying?
No. What do you mean white Moors from?
The white Moors. Don't act funny, nigga.
You talking about in the early modern period?
Yeah, it happened in reverse, basically.
This is an exonym, so if you're talking about how they imposed the word Moor on skin people because they were acting black, or one drop ruling people. The one drop rule also. Oh, so y'all got Sokoto Caliphate, so the Fulani.
Yeah, we got this shit, dog. We on this shit. We are on our Islamic.
They consider the people Sudanese. They speak of the Sudanese negatively, as if they are Bidani, as if they are the whites of West Africa.
Why was it a
so why didn't you?
Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, why didn't you use like some sources that start off with them being black instead of going into when they black? Because you said Moor is black, right? And then they got black Moor, so they black.
No, I didn't. I never showed any source like that. Every source I showed, they're describing the Moors as black. I was expecting, and I appreciate SUTEKH, showing that, but it's kind of flunky, like the pretendians and their sources. When your literature don't add up with the illustrations, or the illustrations don't add up with the literature, then you have a problem. Saying when you got Black Indians or Native Americans being depicted, but all the literature is saying that Negroes or Black people are from Africa, and there was not any Black people in America before the transatlantic slave trade. But you got European artists making illustrations of Black Native Americans and cigar store Indians, and we can say these Europeans saw these people, like William Rush, an American politician, and you pull up his cigar store Indian, it's a Black African. So why did he depict a Native American as a Black African? And is that historically accurate? Is a primary source?
I told you I had that one too.
No, but why? What is your explanation for why they distinguish between the Black Moors and the other Moors? Why did that happen?
It happened towards the during the Reconquista. So after they pretty much won, they started using the one drop rule. And so that blue blood,
the one drop.
And so they're like, these people are mixed with Black and Jews and stuff like that.
Mixed with Black and who?
And the J people.
Man, you
so they excluded those people. And that's documented history. They pushed those people out of Spain, the J people and some of the Black people and some of the people they thought was mixed with Black or whatever in affiliation with these people. And like, all you niggas got to go. And that's
last week. I asked you about Musa Ibn Nazir. He was the governor of North Africa. I asked you whether he was Black or white. No one saying, like, there's no proof that he was a Black dude.
He doesn't have to be Black. I feel you on it.
He doesn't have to be Black. That's the leadership. That's the whole leadership.
There was a Vandal king. There was a Vandal leader in North Africa who was a leader of the Moors because they were in rebellion against the Roman Empire, and he was a Germanic tribesman. So if he's a Germanic tribesman, he doesn't have to be Black for him to be the leader of the Moors if they're in a rebellion against the Roman Empire.
I think you're in denial, man. It's okay to say it.
One drop.
I think you're in denial, man.
I think you guys are in denial.
Man,
you guys still haven't shown no source from the medieval period.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
The brother SUTEKH has been showing sources all night long, bro.
The Book of Games didn't mention anything about the Moor, and I showed that.
What a white Moor was.
Can you honestly say? Hold on, guys. Can you honestly say the Book of Games has the word Moor in it and mentions that guy is a Moor?
Was he Muslim?
So see, they want to conflate. You want to conflate Muslim.
Was he Muslim?
He might as well be.
He might.
So make sure y'all check them slides and understand that.
So see how you can.
Bro, can you break down the one drop rule real quick? So these Black Moors mixed with other people.
No,
and they applied this one drop.
They assumed that they mixed with other people.
Okay, so just explain what you mean by the one drop.
So like with the Italians, how they call them Guinea. Even though, you know, most Italians, majority of them don't really have black ancestry, specifically from West Africa, but they're calling them Guinea anyway to distinguish themselves and discriminate against these Southern Europeans.
So were the Berbers, were those the Amazi, the Berbers, were they darker than those Arabs that was describing them?
Certain Berbers were, you know, black, you know, some from West Africa, some throughout the Sahara. And then you have ones that
right.
Were,
so when they saying they dark skin, they don't have to be talking about the sub-Saharan African. They could just be talking about the North Africans being darker than the Arabs.
No, they were pretty specific, especially when they said flat nose, Ethiopians, Moors are from the land of Ethiopia.
You said
it depends on the time period.
Yeah, you also got to identify Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was pretty much south of the Atlas Mountains.
Yeah, G, I got over there too. Yo, brother man, the Moors were not all black.
You got to show a source. I still haven't seen the source, medieval source.
I could have sworn I
from the first century, from the 1st century to the 14th century. That's 14,000 years or 13,000 years.
There's no goddamn 13,000 years.
I mean 1,300 years.
Ain't no 1,300.
1,300 years. 1,300 years.
Oh, who was the first people called Moor?
Who was the first people called Moors?
Yeah. Who were the first people?
I would say. So there's now that's a trick question in my opinion.
No, it's not.
So are you talking about, people, let me get more.
Why were they called Moor? Who were the first people? Why were they called Moor?
Let me get some clarification. Are you talking about the Mori? You know about the Mori, right? So you talking about that, or are you talking about Moors?
Who were the first people to be called Moor, and why were they called Moor?
Why they were called Moors? Because they were black, and these were. I'm gonna go with the Mori. They were from. They were called Indians, and they were from East Africa.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Indians? They were from Indians in East Africa?
They were called Indians because the story about the Mori is that they came with Hercules when he settled in North Africa. It's a mythological story. Yeah, mythological story. And they're supposed to be Indians because the Pillars of Hercules.
So you're using a mythological story as...
Just ask me a question. Can I finish answer it? So that was...
No, because you didn't answer my first question. Who were the first people to be called Moor?
I just said the Mori.
Where are the Mori located?
They were located across from Spain. And they were said to be from East Africa.
And those people were black people.
Yeah.
Black in the description of the way you look at yourself, or black in a different depiction?
Black as in West, East, South, and North. Africans were black. How some of those
you're telling me those people in North Africa were black people?
The Mori? Yeah.
So let me ask you this: was the whole planet black?
Was what?
When did white people show up?
No, what was the first question? What did you say before that?
Was the whole planet black?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay. So the reason that I'm asking you these questions that I'm asking is because specifically speaking about North Africa, no. If you put it in historical context to try to make your argument, you fail. You get an F. Hold on. Let me tell you why. I'm just telling you why. Because the people of North Africa saw the people below the Sahara as different than them. They make those distinctions in every last one of those damn books.
Mm-hmm.
So this is before the Arab even comes. When the Arab gets there, it's all gang, bro. They adopt the Arab culture so quick, and then they already phenotypically made distinctions between them and the people below them. I call them the first racists because that's the way that they looked upon the people below the Sahara. So there's no way that these people were black people that look just like themselves in the Sahara that's in North Africa when they've clearly made distinctions. They were enslaving people. One of the suitable arguments ever known to us is that when the Muslim comes up in there, in Mauritania, just to be specific, Bilal, wasn't he like the bell ringer or the one that called people to prayer? He was a Saharian black person. Did you not write about that in race and slavery with the Arabs?
Yeah. I mean, there's different types of narratives, but now I got an important question because
you dead right there, bro. You dead right there when we use the slave Bilal among the people in North Africa. Why would black people enslave their own and have a town crier by the name of Bilal, bro?
I don't care about that narrative. So
it's not a narrative, it's a fact.
Why would the Maori be singled out of all the different North African tribes and populations? The Medians and Mazaces and just all these different tribes that are in North Africa. Why was this population or this tribe called the Maori, the Moors? Why would there be only one singled out for being black if they weren't? Isn't that odd?
Who singled them out for being black?
Greeks and Romans.
How did you come to that conclusion?
If you read the history, you'll know that the Maori.
No.
The history says it was named after Mauritania.
No, they wasn't.
Thank you.
Mauritania
yes, they were.
The Maori.
Again, how did you come to the conclusion that Greeks and Romans stated this? And this is supposed to be a fact. So where is the evidence that drew you to that conclusion? Because you did not demonstrate that this entire argument. And I even went back to listen to your first round.
Isidore of Seville. I already showed that.
Put it on the screen.
Let me get it.
Yeah, we went over this in TikTok land, Sean. I can understand. You feeling like we fell before the debate.
It's brutal over there, boy. Man, listen, I be in a hospital. I had high blood pressure.
It's like veins to pop out your neck over there.
Man, look, fucking Manny in the chat laughing. I know she laughing.
Yeah, man. Hey, hurry up, man. I'm gonna wrap this shit up in a minute, man. I'm gonna give y'all a minute.
Bro. I thought they was voting.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet, so I want to give y'all an opportunity to vote. Go ahead and vote now. Well, hold on real quick. We're gonna put a 1 in the chat. Damn, I can't even talk. We're gonna put a 1 in the chat for SUTEKH. Brother Moorish Luther King Jr. put a 1 in the chat.
That's wild.
When I first saw that, I was like, damn, funny. And we're gonna put a 2 in the chat for Brother Hotep. That came in here and he said, you know what, man, they was all black, yo. Put a 2 in there if y'all believe that, man. And make sure y'all look at all these books that Sean put out there, man, because this stuff got a lot of information in it. It'll tell you what's going on. But I'm gonna put mine in there now that I'm not moderating. I can talk my shit now. I think my brother SUTEKH rocked your goddamn bell, homie. You know what I'm saying? Just cleaned your clock.
I mean, y'all can believe whatever you want. I mean, we could just disagree, or agree to disagree. So I showed all these sources right here, these Roman sources that people want to ignore. That's fine. If you want to be like the Pretendians and ignore the hardcore facts, you can go ahead and do that. But is this good enough for you,
Do you
Sean?
know what a primary source? Do you know what a primary source looks like?
These are primary sources. These are from the people.
No. What do you know what a primary source?
Yes,
looks?
I know what a primary source is.
Do you have access to the primary?
Keep going. I'm gonna step for a second, but y'all keep it going.
What,
yeah, do
Sean?
you have a primary from Marcus in that time period where he is making these assertions?
Yeah. Right here.
Okay, can you show the primary? No. I don't want a copy of something. I want to see the primary, please. And then I want to see what they meant by Moorish in that.
Damn. What was it? I think I got it. Let's see.
What's the source for that slide? I mean, I know you're on Google Docs, but what's the source?
I got it from the Latin library. So this is it right here. I don't know if I. Wait, I got the wrong Marcus.
I'm not discounting anything that you put together. The only reason that I'm asking that is for the validity and context of the source.
You fighting for your life right now, bro.
I don't know which chapter it was. I don't feel like going through that. I mean, but we can just use together. So this is.
I know how to replay. The video. Okay, walk you down.
I mean, you can do your own research. I can show you the source.
Yeah,
the Latin library.
I just wanted to see if you cross-reference the source. Pretty much.
Oh yeah,
because if you did, if you're gonna argue with SUTEKH, you better go ahead of primary.
Yeah, I got the primaries. We got it all original in Latin too, right here.
All right, now another thing that I want to talk about, because these Arabs are specifically telling us who these Moors are as well. You kept mentioning Arabs. These Arabs was not playing. They made distinctions, bro. I said that earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. They clearly identified with these people of North Africa, and that's what made the separations. They used people and their knowledge of North Africa to seep their way into certain parts of West Africa to where they can business and trade, and then expand themselves once they had control on those trade routes to let them know, hey, this is the way things are going to go. So have you read any of the UNESCO volumes?
Yeah, I'm familiar with those. But before you even go
no, I'm asking, have you read the UNESCO volumes?
Not all of them, but I've read a few passages.
Okay, have you read 3 and 4?
No.
Okay, if I'm you,
by number.
I'm reading 3 and 4.
Is that because I know they break them down by centuries. But this is getting off topic like crazy because nobody's.
This is staying on topic because you argued that they were all black. So what I'm trying to lead you to is your faulty conclusion.
Moors being described as white or something other than black.
They called themselves the Badani, bro, in Mauritania.
So Fulani people. So
look it up. Look, dude, look. You could just Google this, bro. Just Google Badani, Bidani.
Oh, I got something better for you. So
just
let's
Google
go to Ibn Battuta. After a journey of 10 days from Iwalatan, we reached the village of Zagari. It is a big village inhabited by traders of Sudan called Wanjarada, with whom live a company of white men who are Karajites of the Abadi sect called Saganagu. The whites who are Sunnis of the Maliki school are called by them
What
Turi.
page are you reading from in Batuti's book?
So this is from a corpus of early Arabic sources for West African history.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get my book. Thank you.
And then I also go to the Arabic library where they have the original in Arabic.
Thank y'all for voting. It looked like SUTEKH got this debate according to the.
I mean, this is y'all house. I was just wondering if they had any strong sources, and I didn't see nothing that was strong.
Man, I don't know about you, man. Your shit was weak, man. So you need to put a little bit.
So there was more. There's Moors in here though.
287.
Yeah, I know.
287.
You ain't know that.
We all Moors, remember?
287. Sean B.
After you go to 287, go to 236, because you spoke about the San Haja and you said that they was black, and they speak about the San Haja in there.
They was.
Hey, y'all keep it running, man. I haven't left yet. I gotta go run an errand real quick.
All right, bet.
You got it?
Nah, bro, I got like 1,000 books over here. Hold on.
Yeah, I just need one source at least from the medieval period.
You got it.
Any on Arab history, bro, it's gonna come from that, bro. It's gonna come from medieval.
Because the Moors, I'm talking about more specifically from because it's the exonym and literature. I'm talking about literature, not images. I just need some literature, and I wasn't provided that.
Arabic sources not even they don't call themselves Moors, bro.
I'm aware of that. You're not speaking to somebody who doesn't know.
Why would we go into Arabic sources and to show you white Moors?
What are you talking about? You
when they wouldn't call themselves Moors.
You mentioned Bidan and that was very dishonest of you, I would say, without giving the historical context of Bidan.
Gotcha. Luckily, I didn't get to these other slides, but
I mean, bro, you can show them right now, man. I want to see you.
I don't want to taint the debate. I want to stick to the agreed rules. We got 10 minutes apiece each round, so this is what it is. I got to tighten it up next time.
Yeah. Well, when you find those literature from the medieval period that says, Moors or
medieval, bro. Everything about the Arabs medieval.
I'm talking about XNM, Christian, Latin, Roman sources about the Moors, because that's the word they use.
Yeah, I gave you medieval.
You didn't show anything.
I gave you a source within the time period that we were discussing.
Yeah, but like I said again, you didn't show.
You forgot about Zarara.
Literature.
Yeah, that was literature. The primary. He was there.
That's the age of exploration.
He lived with Moors. It was it between 711 and 1492?
It's the age of exploration. I said medieval period. And
okay.
Why are you placing it in 711?
Because that's what we agreed to.
Fight to fucking Spain, you dumbass.
Did we not agree to 711 or 1492?
No. I said it's like we didn't agree to a certain time. So time you want to choose.
Yeah, right. Crash out. Why you so mad? Hey, Sutin, whenever you get a chance, bro, download that live.
It's just a man talking to you. Don't get scared.
I've never been scared of a pseudo.
Yeah.
Yeah, download that live because we agreed to 7-Eleven or 1492. Now you mad because I'm sticking within the time period and you showing shit from the 4th century and shit.
That's the medieval period.
It's all cool. It's all cool. Yeah, man.
What's taking so long, Sean?
I
got the book. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
It ain't hard to show source.
What you mean?
It ain't hard, nigga.
Already. Listen, this you lost at the title.
I'm getting sleepy, man.
You lost at the title. I'm looking at my books. You lost at the title.
I didn't lose. You can claim I lose, but
sleepy.
Bro,
nobody showed anything.
You remedial, man. You need a lightsaber.
Category as the Pretendians, because that was just.
You need a lightsaber.
That was so Book of Miracles and the Book of Games. Fairy tales, okay.
Yep, yeah, absolutely right. 500 AD to 1500 AD. So, yeah, that's right.
And what did Zerara say?
Hold on. He said, here you must note that these blacks were Moors like the others, though they're slaves.
In what region is this?
They blacks, they Moors just like the other Moors, but they the slave of the other Moors. This is what he said. Not me.
This is the Portuguese guys.
You're mad at me, nigga.
This is in West Africa?
This is between 1410 to 1474.
And he was in
the medieval period.
It's not medieval, it's the age of exploration.
I literally just looked it up, bro. 500 AD to 1500 AD.
Like Indians in final, like Native Americans.
Crash out then. Fuck it.
Not my fault, you pseudo.
Crash out then. Fuck it.
I mean,
let's see. Let's see.
You didn't show it.
I did. I literally read it. It was one of my slides. Do I need to put it back up? Y'all forgot?
He said page 287.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I said 287. 1400s is crazy. You couldn't find anything earlier than that.
Which note, bro?
Very late as fuck, SUTEKH.
Which note?
287. We done with SUTEKH. Come on,
which note, bro?
You said what? Just read it. You got ours.
Which one?
395, 287.
After a journey of 10 days from Ilwaltan, reached the village of Zangari. It's a big village inhabited by traders of the Sudan called Wanjarata, with whom lived a company of white men who are the Karajites of the Ibadi sect called Sag-a-Nagu. The whites, who are Sunnis of the Maliki school, are called by them Turi. From this place, Anila is imported to the Walatin. Then we departed from Zangara and arrived. Okay, so hold on. So let's go to Cliff Note 17 and Cliff Note 18. Oh, y'all don't read that. You don't read that shit, do you?
Yeah, I read it.
No,
415. 415. I know you're trying to be funny, but you know.
Ibadis were prominent in the Sahara trade until the 11th century, but it is unlikely the Ibadis mentioned here had reached the Sudan at the early period and maintained their distinctive white characteristics so long. Perhaps they